Okay, so I believe that one of the main reasons I'm doing this video, which I kind of thought I already did it, but I guess not. I just watched the video a lot, so um, we are reacting to Jessica Alba's genealogy because I've watched this video many times before. Just because I feel so connected to what her story is that um and to top it all off, I come from um a probably parents that are similar to hers. I come from a Mexican and his my dad's parents are Mexican, and my grandma's like white, Arkansas, born in Arkansas woman. But my dad always made it seem like he kind of I don't know if I want to say exercise his right to believe that he was mainly Mexican. So that was mostly my upbringing, because my dad even made sure we called him Papi, which I now know in Spanish is daddy. And yeah, he made us call him that, and which is endearing. And um he also made us call our grandma and grandpa, his parents, abuelo and abuela. So abuelo means grandpa, abuela means grandma, for those that don't know. So we are going to react to this video, and I'm gonna reveal a lot because this is my very close to my genealogy as well. And I was never really impressed by my mom's genealogy because it's just mostly like predominantly white. Sorry, I gotta put the code in, which I'm not gonna reveal. So, yeah, you use the two hands to film this video, so.
And they lived in there. Her off-screen identity, however, is much more complex. She's always believed that her father's roots led back to Spain through Mexico, and her mother's roots somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, that sounds like my parents. And I think I've always been interested in my not just my dad's roots, but especially his dad's roots. Not just because my grandfather took great care of us and just always made each of us feel like we were the favorite child, but because my grandfather comes from straight up Mexican. His dad is Mexican, his mom was Mexican, and they just, back when my great grandfather married, first of all, my great grandfather married a woman in Mexico, but I heard personally from the Holy Spirit that she did not want to go to America. She wanted to stay in Mexico. So is what I'm saying is oh dang. Um what I'm saying is oh come on. I'm sorry, this video is just not a good idea. Okay, it's a good idea. But yeah.
But when I asked her, who are your people? Her answer was simple. I for sure identify more with Mexican American. So Jessica.
That's me too, and I think the reason why, and you'll notice towards the end of the video that Jessica Alba finds out that she has Jewish ancestry, and I think that that's me, and I know for a fact that I am the front runner and the leader of my family to say we have Jewish ancestry. Let's represent this. And then I'm the first person to come back and be like, wait a minute, I have Jewish ancestry. Let's represent this. Oh man, am I gonna have to. So, let's play the video, Antonia. We're gonna do 5 minutes in.
I for sure identify more with Mexican American. Though Jessica views herself first and foremost as a Mexican American, our DNA analysis shows that her ancestry is actually far more diverse than she could ever imagine. You are, as you can see there, 33.5% British, 5.1% French German.
This is why I have German in me too, because my grandma. So my grandparents are on my dad's side very much the switcheroo of the West Side Story, because um the the switcheroo of the West Side Story, and so it must have been sort of a scandal for back in the day for them to get together. And I don't know, it was California, so what is a scandal in California, right? It's almost, I don't know, they got together way before Ronald Reagan, so we'll just keep watching. 0.1% French German, 3.9% Scandinavian, 17.3% Iberian, that's the Spanish colonial element. Oh, wow. And 1.4% Italian. And when you walked in here, you knew that your family had said that you were French, of French descent. My mom did, but I thought she was just trying to be fancy. You have one of the most diverse ancestral breakdowns that we've ever seen in this series. In Jessica's case, family history trumped. Which I'm gonna not leave off. I'm gonna say, with that being said, she's probably me. And then to the people that wonder why Ivanka Trump would ever be my sister in love, um, because of the Jewish ancestry that I have, and me coming back and saying, you know what, no, it's time for Jews to act in saved doctrine, but at the same time be like Khloe Kardashian, threatening your life because you threatened the Messiah's life in that person. So, oh dang. Alright, I gotta keep clicking that button. In Jessica's case, family history trumped genetics. Jessica and her father, Mark Alba, showed me photos of the tightly knit Mexican immigrant community in Claremont, California, where she was raised. Tell me about this. I will do my best to try to leave this video down below. If not, because it is bootleg, I'll have to just let y'all go out on a limb and just type in on the search button Jessica Alba Genealogy. I will put the title on this video reacting to Jessica Alba's genealogy, so people can get a clear picture, because and just because Jessica Alba and I and Ivanka Trump are Jewish does not give people the right to be rude either. So there's that. But we ain't gonna take kids. We ain't gonna die. Oh my God. My dad actually was a very good singer. My dad ended up being a classical guitarist. That's why Jessica's powerful connection to her Mexican root. My dad used to play the guitar for us kids as well. He used to play Hotel California, the song Hotel California for my brother, and then he would sing the Brown Eyed Girl for me.
Was forged here, surrounded by her father's family. She told me that one family story in particular cemented.
And if I have shared a photo, I don't know if I'll ever. That video is kind of hard for me to find. Um, I'll let y'all scroll and scroll on my page to find the video. But if you've ever seen a picture of my dad, he looks a lot like Ron Magro from Jersey Shore.
At this bond. It starts with her great grandfather, a man named Daniel Martinez. Daniel was born in Mexico and moved to Los Angeles, where he managed to save enough money to open his own meat market. But in the 1920s, Daniel lost his business.
No.
The family was forced to work as migrant farmers, entering a world in which their ethnic identity was used to vilify them.
My grandfather said that there were water fountains and bathrooms and, basically anything that was open to the public that was segregated. There were Mexican schools and schools for white kids. And my grandmother, half of her siblings were fair skinned and had light eyes, and light hair, blonde hair, and red hair. So they got to go to the white schools. And then the darker skinned siblings had to go to the.
But can we finally all say that we're grateful we don't have to go through that anymore? Like, I mean, nowadays it's all gender bathroom, or you get the women's restroom and the men's restroom. So I'm just grateful we don't live in the old gaslight times. But at the same time, we also don't need to have an all gender bathroom like Pete's Coffee in West Lynn. Nice job, Brett Meador, for not just calling it out, but you have to incorporate change into the church, and you have to incorporate peace. And I don't know, I might be a little too critical, but
The darker skinned siblings had to go to the.
if you've ever watched the movie Valentine's Day, I think that Jessica Alba for sure plays Ivanka Trump in that movie. Just busy on the phone, just busy businesswoman angel. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mexican schools.
Jessica has heard painful stories all her life about the prejudice her family experienced. But she had no idea how determined her great-grandfather Daniel was to fight back. He didn't want his darker-skinned children to start life at a disadvantage.
I was never told what my grandfather's dad's name was, and the name Manuel came to my mind, so I don't know if that's true. I am kind of putting this video out for family to reach out to me on here to be like, it was not Manuel, but that was the name that was given to me. I may have to just take it or not.
So
I
Daniel
forgot what
banded together
Manuel
with other
meant.
Mexican American families to open a school of their own.
It's a school in Claremont, a Mexican school in Claremont.
Yes, that's right. You ever heard of this school?
No.
Well, your family played a key role in the creation of that.
I have family that lives near Claremont, still to this day, I think. A lot of you family apparently though still need to go to the Amarillo 10 Crusades and see about, getting your healing and stuff. There's a lot more than just Mario now in California. There's a lot of people in California that need love that I'm connected to.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Around 1927, your great-grandfather, Daniel, and some other Arbor Verde community members founded the East Barrio School.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They practiced reading and writing Spanish, and they even studied Mexican history.
Oh, wow. So they didn't lose touch with their roots.
Do you think that your great-grandfather founding the El Barrio School was a way of fighting back against the
Yeah,
back of the bus treatment that he
I
was
believe
receiving?
that. It was
Absolutely. Yeah.
very interesting to me because not just my dad, who I get my Mexican heritage from, but my mom and dad, of course, met while teaching. So this connects me to her well beyond my years. And probably more of a mixed month than she is. I'm wondering that I haven't done my own genealogy. My mom did offer to do a genealogy, and I guess I just kind of had like a little bit of bitterness towards her. Like, why did I move up here or something? Which I now do, but my point is my parents met while teaching, right? That's my point. Stick with me, people.
Yeah. And I think also wanting to still, instill pride in the children about who they are and where they came from and not feel shame, which is, what you feel, I'm sure, when you're treated that way.
Beholder. That's where Jessica gets it. Pocahontas. DNA analysis had already revealed that Jessica Alba's genome was a patchwork of geographic ancestry.
I wish this guy
But
would
she
have
knows
me
almost
on.
nothing
Trump
about her deep
Jr.
Mexican roots.
Gods of Life.
The Mexican American side of my family.
I don't
There's
need to
so
be.
many different races that come together.
I
Even
don't
to make
need to
that
be
up, are
spiritual
some
wife to
native,
Yeshua,
are
or
some from Spain or
I don't need
Germany?
to
I don't
be
know.
spiritual wife to
Today, almost
Yahweh
two-thirds of
Trump.
all
I need to
Mexicans
be
identify as
real.
mestizo.
I don't need to be spiritual wife to Yahweh Trump. I just need him to be physical with me, like take me out dinner, let me be in the master bedroom of our house. Like, I am a little nervous for him. If there's any nerves that I have towards this whole marriage, and I mean, heck, I keep saying on this YouTube channel, you guys, I moved into this room. If you can you see the photo? No, no, that's not it. Yeah, there's the photo. I picked that photo because I picked this room for that photo because I believe in love. And I'm not sitting here in this room, laying on this bed, waiting for anybody else but him. I'm not going to give my virginity to somebody who I'm not going to wake up next to the next morning going, you're mine. You're mine. Or just kind of something cool that sort of hinted at in a funny way. So I just thought I'd have humor to it, but you get what I'm getting at here, people. Okay. I like Jessica Alba now that I've watched this video plenty of times, and I like her because she just not only reminds me of myself, but reminds me of my sister Ivanka. But she's just cool, down to earth person, and I hope that she takes her Jewish roots seriously because Judaism is and will always be the first religion out there. And I hope that it gets more airtime and love that it deserves. That's all I'm gonna
Almost
say.
two-thirds of all Mexicans identify as mestizo or mixed. It's a
Me.
genetic legacy of the country's colonial history. When the Spanish invaded Mexico in the 1500s, they fathered children with Native Americans and with their African slaves. Jessica told me that she had always heard that her paternal...
My mom always swore that on her mom's side, or like her side at least, my mom swore that she had Native American history, and I wonder if that's coming from my side, my dad's side, and she thinks that she probably was thinking that she gave birth to two children from, dang it, she gave birth to two children um from a Native American descent. This is interesting.
Jessica told me that she had always heard that her paternal line,
Unfolds better
the Alba
than
line, led
the
to a
View
Spanish man
lady.
who fathered a child with a Native American woman. To see if that was true, we ran a Y-DNA analysis on her father, Mark Alba. All the Albas did not come from Europe.
They're native.
They're Native Americans.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That means that your direct paternal ancestors have been in the New World for centuries. They did not come from the conquistadors. You, on your father's line, are definitely descended from Native Americans.
My grandfather looks native.
Yeah, well, it's a good reason. For Jessica Alba.
And my grandma used to say something about my grandpa's mom looked Native American, and she always thought that that's where um she got her Native American, or where my granddad, and his name is Tony, my grandma called him Tony, um that's where my grandfather got his Native American heritage probably from. So I probably have some of this in me. So, where's the money? Can I go back to college? No. Okay. Yeah. Man, I gotta fix this because it keeps closing off on me, and I gotta put the code in.
For Jessica Alba, I wanted to see what more we could learn about her Native American ancestors. Where did they come from? Until recently, this used to be almost impossible to answer. But at Stanford University, Dr. Carlos Bustamante is using DNA to reclaim these lost Native American roots. How does the state of genetic research into Native Americans compare with the state of research among other population groups?
Well, I would say it's incredibly
Whoa.
underrepresented. Most of what we know about the genetic...
This guy, I'll just show a quick glimpse. He looks like Suntard, which is so funny. I say that because my husband and Suntard are like the same person. So there's that. Just thought I'd
base
put
of
that out
complex
there.
traits comes from
Genealogy!
population of European descent. We've developed so much in terms of the resources for Europeans that we can pinpoint with high accuracy, particularly for individuals that have ancestry from a given country.
Dr. Bustamante and his team set out to level the DNA playing field. They compiled the largest Mexican genetic database ever assembled.
We studied people from 20 different indigenous groups in Mexico.
20.
We've built a very detailed map of Native American ancestry in Mexico. And what we found is that the Native Mexican groups could be distinguished genetically very clearly. We can clearly cluster the Seri from the Tarahumara, from the Zapotec, from different Mayan groups.
So what can I tell Jessica Alba about where her paternal ancestors derived in Mexico?
So when we look at Mr. Alba's DNA, what we found is that about 50% of his genome...
That's interesting. They didn't just take Jessica Alba's DNA. They took her dad's DNA. So for that to happen, that's interesting. I think people, you know, oh my gosh, very. They didn't just take hers; they took his.
Is of
So that's
Native
even more
American
research.
ancestry.
Even more research.
And we can further now break that down. So here are northern Native Mexicans. Here are individuals from the Mayan Peninsula.
So he's a bit of a smorgasbord of Native.
Well, it's consistent with somebody whose ancestry comes from many generations of.
Would the guy that likes to do the ancestry stuff reach out to me? Because I'm supposed to be, God's head wife to Trump Jr. So I'm just gonna put this out there that, if you'd like to do a genealogy with me, I would love to do that. So, because I'd love to know what's in me, because after watching Adrian Ballones, I'm like, I have Mexican in me, so maybe I have black. I don't know. Maybe I have African American is what I should say. Don't get mad, people. Come on.
Generations of Mexican ancestry. So he is descendant from a long line of Mexican ancestry that may date back to the initial foundings of Mexico.
That's exciting. What policemen hesitate to share with the public?
No commercial, no commercial.
But I got let go because I wouldn't sell cars over MSRP, and I wouldn't try and scam. Line of Mexican ancestry.
Okay, guys, had to kick that commercial out. I hope I don't get copyright. Just because I say copyright, YouTube don't even have the copyright.
12% northern Mexico and 25.5% southern Mexico.
And this percentage includes Mayan ancestry.
Wow.
Dr. Bustamante discovered that your father is 3.7% Mayan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool. And we've never seen this before.
That's amazing.
These results made us curious. What other genetic ancestries might be buried in Jessica's mestizo roots? We looked closer at her DNA and discovered a secret heritage that Jessica had never heard about. We noticed something else really interesting. Your father also has a small amount of Jewish ancestry, 0.7%. His Italian DNA is 0.6%, and Middle Eastern North African DNA 0.
Better watch it, Brianna Brown, because we're not just Catholic. We started as Jews. Keep listening.
8%. A result like yours and your father's suggests a history of hidden Sephardic Jewish ancestry. Wow. You ever think you had Jewish ancestry?
No, that's really cool.
I did.
I wanted to see if we could figure out how this Jewish ancestor ended up in Jessica's family tree. Cece noticed something significant about Jessica's father's mitochondrial DNA. This is the genetic fingerprint that each of us inherits from our mother, who inherited it from her mother in an unbroken process. Jessica's father's mother's line leads back to Jessica's fourth great grandmother, a woman named Carmen Carrillo, who was born in Mexico in 1820. And we found other people in the DNA database
just
who also
blowing my
match Carmen's
mind
mitochondrial signature.
and really just connecting me more to God.
Have this subclade from Spain, Italy, Germany, Poland, and Ukraine all said they had Sephardic Jewish ancestry on their maternal line.
Wow, so
yeah,
that's pretty convincing evidence.
We were able to confirm that those hints of Sephardic Jewish ancestry were real. So that means that Carmen Carrillo was either of Sephardic Jewish ancestry or her maternal line was.
Carmen's family was part of a fascinating history. In late 15th century Spain, Jewish people were given a terrible choice: convert to Roman Catholicism, face execution, or leave the country. Even some who converted fled to colonial Mexico, where they found refuge on the frontier of the Spanish Empire and practiced their true faith in secret, earning them the name crypto-Jews. Jessica's ancestors were among those who fled. Her DNA tells us so.
And when I found Sidra Supernatural in 2018, at first I was still acting brand new about it, but I still felt like I was connecting with something bigger than myself, and more importantly, knowing that it was the time. Like, this is the time to go back to something that can't crumble at any moment. I think a lot of the Jewish history shows that Judaism has been sort of weak, has gotten that bad rap, which it's not. Because if Judaism was weak, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, he would be in hell. So, I mean, he's not, obviously, and he's in heaven. So how can we beat our heads over, beat ourselves over the head with a hardback Bible? That's this is blowing my mind.
Jessica's genome also reveals how she's related to other Jewish people. We always look at all the guests in this series to see who your cousin is, if you have any genetic cousins. And you do have one.
Who?
Turn the page. That is your genetic cousin.
Really?
You are related to Alan Dershowitz, one of the most brilliant lawyers in the whole world.
Wow.
But you never guessed that, man.
No.
This is your cousin.
Wow, I'm a great fan of hers. Is she Jewish?
Well, she wasn't before. She is now.
It's cool that I get to walk now for the rest of my life knowing where I came from. Mm-hmm. And when I visit different countries, I have a sense of really feeling the history in a different way. To think that my ancestors probably walked those streets. Mm-hmm.
Yep. You guys heard that clear as day, and I think that the part that gets me in this like whole thing of Candace Owens going back to God, or not going back to God, because that would be great, but going not, we don't know, I don't know too much about Black history as far as the little bit that we do know, but I do know, bottom line is, for her to be like, oh, I'm gonna be Catholic like my husband. No. Catholicism, from day one, has tried to behead Jews, and if you read the Bible clearly, and the real Bible clearly, and not a messed up Bible, it specifically says to take care of Israel. Yeshua's coming back for Israel. Now it's the time to take care of Israel, and everything. I have listened, and I have heard and seen prophets like Sid Roth's Supernatural, the Hutches, like all the prophets, even Daystar, all the people at Daystar. I have heard every single outcry from you guys, and I know what I'm here alive to do. And I will be the president after Ivanka Trump, and I'm just gonna leave off on that because I gotta use the loo. But I'm going back to my Jewish roots. And whether I look like a Christian trying to be a Jew, or a Jew trying to look like I don't know. I'm going back to my Jewish roots, and I hope that there will be people that will tag along with me, like Miss Ivanka Trump, or Ivanka Mary Kushner, or whatever this woman's name is. You gotta come talk to me, Trumps, because we're losing time, and this is an election year, and I know you want to be President Donald Trump, but I call you Micah Trump because I know you can be just as kind with the name Micah than without. I'm gonna leave off on there because I could just ramble on, but I'm really happy that we made this video, and I gotta use the loo. So, bye.